Hello class, this is Demetrius Wilson. We are now on Chapter 5 in Marketing, Market Segmenting, Targeting, and Positioning is our main topic of concern for Chapter 5. Segmentation, so we're dealing with market segments, dividing or segmenting people and organizations into different groups of potential buyers with similar characteristics. So you might have certain groups that buy for one reason. You might have other groups that buy for other reasons. There are very simple, ways to split these different segments. Could be male, could be female, could be people who have a lot of money, people who don't have a lot of money. We'll talk about the reasons why people make the purchases that they do and how they can be split into various groups. Targeting segments, so selecting market segments to pursue with plans. So I don't really want to sell this to the upper echelon. I want to sell this to all the people who are middle class or lower class because I feel like I'm going to get more sales than selling them to upper or higher class individuals with more money, more income. Positioning is creating a preferred position of the company's products in the minds of consumers. So they might just fall in love with a certain brand like Apple. I wouldn't say I'm in love with their brand, but I will say that as of right now, I will only purchase a Apple phone, iPhone, and if I get a desktop, I will only use a Mac desktop. Just because I've had such success with both. So Apple's basically positioned themselves as far as in my mind, as the company that I would want to buy those things from. Now, I obviously have PC laptops and utilize PC at work because it's a necessary. But if it's just my choice, or if I have my druthers, then I would pick a Mac or iPhone. So our learning objectives. Distinguish between targeted marketing and mass marketing. So mass marketing is we're marketing to the masses, to all kinds of people. Targeted marketing means that we're marketing specifically towards certain individuals, and explain what led to the rise of each. Not to say that either one is right or wrong. Describe how targeted marketing can benefit firms, and explain why companies differentiate among their customers. Targeted marketing versus mass marketing. So like I said, there are pros and cons to both. So don't ever think that one's right and one is wrong. You open up your big successful company. At certain instances, you might use mass marketing. In certain instances, you might use targeted marketing. Targeted marketing, also known as differentiated marketing, meaning you're differentiating your product or your service from everybody else. You may differentiate some aspect of marketing for different groups of customers selected. And it is relatively a new phenomenon. So it's, the targeted marketing is newer. Back in the day, they just said, hey, this is what we're putting out. I think it was Henry Ford or somebody said, hey, you can have the car in any color as long as it's black. Mass marketing, also known as undifferentiated marketing, it evolved along with mass production and involves selling the same product to everybody. So if I sell a Snuggie, the only difference is you might have a blue Snuggie and I may have a red Snuggie. But other than that, all the Snuggies are just the same. Benefits of segmenting and targeting markets: avoid head-on competition with other firms, develop new offerings, remote or remarket older, less profitable products, identify early adopters, focus on most profitable customers, right? The people who buy the most, we get them, they'll influence other people. And retain at-risk customers. So somebody who might want to go buy a product that is similar to yours but doesn't, retain them and get them to stay and get them to get other people to buy your product or service. Targeting markets, trend is toward more precise targeting of markets, right? We want to figure out what specifically do you like, and then we're going to send you coupons and promotions for specifically what you like as an individual, and that does take a lot of time. Companies are now using the internet, social media, to track people's web browsing patterns and segment those into target groups. Getting a read on potential target markets doesn't necessarily have to involve technology. Sometimes you have to have your ear to the street, just be out there and talking to people and understanding what's going on, and you'll get a good concept of what people's buying behaviors will be. Targeting a firm's current customers, and this is what better base to have than your current customers. So on the videos that'll be posted in the modules, it talks about Gillette, and instead of Gillette saying, hey, we want you to buy more razors, we want you to buy our other products. We want you to buy the shower gel, or we want you to buy other of our other products, not just our razors. So what better customer base than your current customers? Finding and attracting new customers is generally far more difficult than retaining your current customers. And I actually work in retention at work, and retaining is much easier to keep those clients. It's called stopping up the leaky bucket. So if you have a bucket and there's no hole in it, the water just will continue to go up. But if you have a hole in it, the water will come out the bottom. Now, every company has a hole at the bottom because some companies are going to leave, and it might not be their fault. But the more you do for retention, the more you can do to put a plug in and stop that leaky bucket and keep your water bucket as full as possible. In addition to studying customers' buying patterns, firms also try to get a better understanding of their customers by surveying them or hiring marketing research firms to do so, or utilizing loyalty programs, right? So you've been loyal, we're going to give you a 50% discount just for what you do. We're going to send you a $25 gift certificate in the mail. Many firms use Facebook to develop closer relationships with their customers, and Twitter is another way companies are keeping in touch with their customers and boosting their revenue. So companies, if they don't know, they should know, and they better know quickly that social media has definitely changed how business is done. And if a company doesn't have a Facebook page, have somebody handling their YouTube channel or their Twitter handle, that they're going to be in big trouble. Targeting a firm's current customers. Regardless of how well companies know their customers, it is important to remember that some customers are highly profitable. So some customers that are bringing in a lot of money, some just bringing in a little bit, and some you're losing money on. Others are not, and others are actually end up costing your firm money to serve. Some firms deliberately untarget unprofitable customers, and I've done that before. I've actually fired a customer. Some people say, "Oh, the customer's always right." Well, you know what? Nah, they're right, but you're not the customer for me. So I give them the, it's not you, it's me speech, and send them on their way. One-to-one marketing. This is a process that outlines the steps companies take to target their best customers, right? Form close personal relationships with them and give them what they want, right? So we want to form a close relationship, figure out what you want, provide it to you, and hope that you stay with us, and also refer business to us as well. One-to-one marketing steps. So this is exactly step-by-step how you should do it. Establish short-term measures to evaluate your efforts. How will the efforts be measured? Revenues, transaction, and other measures, right? Things that count. Identify your customers. Gather all relevant information. Establish good contact information. You want to differentiate among your customers. So which customers are the most valuable? Let's put them over here. Let's treat them the best. Which customers are the least valuable? So just think about it. I know it's, oh, that's not fair, but, in reality, this is how it works. I have a bank account, and if you have a certain bank account, with a certain amount of money in a bank, they are going to treat you differently and give you more things than if I have $15 in my bank account. You want to interact with your customers, targeting your best ones, and customize your products and marketing message to meet their needs, right? I want to customize it to meet your needs. So key takeaways, as always, I want you guys to read these on your own, but choosing select groups of people to sell to is called target marketing. So you want to choose a select group, and we want to get that group. And so we want to be highly effective in terms of getting that group. So read all of the key takeaways, very good recap on the slides that we just went through. Learning objectives, understand and outline the ways in which markets are segmented, and explain why marketers use some segmentation bases versus others. Segmentation bases, these are the criteria used to classify and divide buyers into different groups, right? So how do we split these people into these different groups? These help a firm in getting a fuller picture of its customers and create a real value for them. So I want an accurate picture, accurate depiction of the customer, and I want to create real value for that customer. Types of segmentation bases, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, behavioral. So what benefits do the customers want, and how do they use the product? So we want to group all those people into one. Demographic profile of customers could be their age, how old they are, could be their race, could be their ethnic background, could be their gender. Geographic, where the customers are located. So I'm going to market towards people in Los Angeles and people in Orange County a lot differently, and how they can be reached, right? So some people, hey, I'm always on the phone. Could be Twitter, could be Facebook. Some people we're going to have to pick up the phone and call them. Psychographic, what do customers think about and value, right? So what do you value? What do you think about when you're in terms of a product or a service? Segmentation by behavior, so benefits segmenting buyers by benefits that they seek from the product. Usage, segmenting buyers by the frequency that they use / buy the product. So how often do you buy, a basketball? Maybe you work for a school and you buy lots of basketballs. Maybe I just have some, I just, go shoot around with my daughter. So maybe we just buy one basketball from time to time. Application, segmenting buyers by the way they use, in which they use each of the products, and knowing the benefit that buyers seek. So what benefits do you seek? Often they purchase the product, and the manner in which the product is used allows marketing people to tailor their products to the buyers for optimum results, right? We want to tailor, customize things for you. So segmenting by demographics. So demographics are commonly utilized to segment markets because demographic information is publicly available in databases around the world. It includes age, income, gender, family life cycle, and ethnicity, right? So you know what? I'm going to market shoes to, or let's say socks. I'm going to market socks differently to a 40 to 50-year-old man than I will to a young man from 15 to 19, because a young man from 15 to 19 probably just wants some white Nike socks that he can play basketball or run in, and a gentleman from 40 to 50 is going to say, you know what, I need some nice dress socks, maybe some compression socks, because I'm up on my feet at work all the time and I want to be comfortable. Segmentation by geography, right? So geographic or geography. Geographic segmentation divides buyers by where they are located, right? So like I said earlier, I market to people in Los Angeles differently than I market to people in Orange County. I market to people in California differently than I market to people in Texas. Geocoding is the process of plotting geographic marketing information on a map. Geomorphics, or neighborhood geography, combines both demographic and geographic information for marketing purposes. So now we're looking at age, gender, all that stuff, and then we're also looking at where the people live as well. So you want to check out, if you have some time, check out that source right there to see how the process works. The website is right there. It's quite interesting. Segmentation by geography, city size, and population density are also used for segmentation purposes. Population density is number of people per square mile. So, obviously in Los Angeles, a lot of people. If we're looking at Iowa, then it's, it's a little bit less or a lot less. Proximity marketing is an interesting new technology firms are using to segment and target buyers geographically within a few hundred feet of their business using wireless technology, right? So that's a great way to say, let's just start right here. Here's base camp, and let's just spread all the way out, and let's just start with the people, because the people closest to us, they're going to want to buy from us because they can reach out and touch us if something goes wrong. And then we go further out, further out, further out. Segmentation by psychographic. So questions include why consumers behave the way that we do. What is the high priority to them? How they rank the importance of specific buying criteria. So is price at the top and quality at the bottom, or is quality at the top and price at the bottom? Well, it might depend on your income. Psychographic information is frequently gathered via extensive surveys that ask people about their activities, interests, opinion, attitudes, values, and lifestyles. One of the most well-known psychographic surveys is VALS, which originally stood for Values, Attitudes, and Lifestyles, and was developed by a company called SRI International in the late 1980s. The VAL types. So these are different types, so pay close attention to these. Innovators, successful, sophisticated, take-charge people. Thinkers, mature, satisfied, comfortable, well-educated. Achievers, goal-oriented, conservative, predictable, stable. Experiencers, young, enthusiastic, seek variety and excitement. Believers, conservative, conventional, believe in established codes. Strivers, they're trendy, fun-loving, seek approval, job versus career. Makers, practical, self-sufficient, suspicious of large institutions. Survivors, few resources, concerned with safety, low motivation. And what category do you fall into? Take the survey. So if you take this, if you just hover over this, copy it, and then put in your browser, you can go there and you can take the survey and check it out. You should be able to look at those and kind of see, understand where you fall, where you land, as long as you're honest with yourself. Segmentation by B2B or business-to-business markets. So researchers Matthew Harrison, Paul Haig, and Nick Haig have theorized that fewer behavioral and needs-based segments in business-to-business markets, which I agree with, than in business-to-consumer markets for two reasons. Business markets are made up of a few hundred customers, whereas consumer markets may be made up of hundreds of thousands of customers. Businesses aren't as fickle as customers. They go through a process. They say, this is what we need, as opposed to saying, this is what I need this day, but this day I want this. According to Harrison, Haig, and Haig, the behavioral or needs-based segments in the business-to-business markets include the following: a price-focused segment, a quality brand-focused segment, a service-focused segment, and a partnership-focused segment. Key takeaways, I want you to review those on your own as well. Press pause on the video or check them out from the resources in TalentNet. Segmentation bases are criteria used to classify buyers, right? Is it the male group? Is it the female group? Is it 20 to 30 group? Is it the 40 to 50 group? How do you split these groups up? So read the rest of key takeaways. So like I said, great synopsis, great way to tie up, or shore up the things that we've gone over in the slides prior to there. Learning objectives. Describe the factors that make some markets more attractive targets than others, right? So if we see these people and we say, hey, you know what, these people buy our products all the time, they leave us big tips, we need to market more products towards them. We need to keep them happy. Describe the different market segmenting strategies companies pursue and why. Outline the market segmentation strategies used in global markets. So here's our targeting criteria. Can the market be profitable? You need to know that. Can you make some money? Is it a growing market? Can you continue to make money? Is there room for a new competitor? Is there room for somebody else to come in and take some of the money that we want to make? Is the market accessible, right? Can we get into the market or can we not? Are resources available to serve this market? And what is a fit with the present business mission and objectives, right? So that's our targeting criteria. What's our target criteria? How do we want to look at things? What do we want to shoot for? Choosing the number of markets to target, right? You can't choose everything. Henry Ford proved that mass marketing can work, at least for a while. Mass marketing is efficient because you don't have to tailor any part of the offering for different groups of consumers, right? So you put it out there and you say, hey, if you want to buy this black car, you buy it, and the people who want to buy it, they will, which is more work and cost and more money. But if I want to design a car specifically how you want it, then we would be doing, customization on every single car that there is, because everybody would want it differently. Instead, we're just saying this is how the car is. It comes stock like this. Whatever else you want to do, that's on you. Multi-segment marketing can allow firms to respond to demographic changes and other trends in market, right? So let's say a different ethnic group comes in and they just populate the area, then that may have a shift in terms of what we're doing as a company. It can also help companies weather an economic downturn by allowing customers to trade up or down among brands or products. Concentrated marketing, it involves targeting a very select group of customers, right? Just people 50 and over who make more than $1 million a year. It can be a risky strategy because companies really do have all their eggs in one basket, right? So if those people just don't like our product, then now we've got to go back to the drawing board. Niche marketing, it involves targeting an even more select group of consumers. So you know what? You guys are 50 and over. You make $2 million, and let's say you voted for a specific party, in terms of your vote, right? So whether it's Democratic or Republican. So now we're looking at something else specific about you, right? So not only your age, your gender, how much money you make, but who you contributed money to in their political campaign. Micro-targeting, a new effort to isolate markets and target them, is also known as narrow casting, right? We want this tunnel vision, you guys right in here. We don't want to send it to everybody, just you guys right in here. That's who we're looking for, because you guys are going to give us a good amount of money. Targeting strategies used in global markets, right? So we saw mass or undifferentiated marketing, right? That's just we're marketing the same thing to everybody. Targeted or differentiated marketing, we're saying, hey, for you guys, we're going to market these socks this way. For you guys, we're going to market it this way. Multi-segment, concentrated marketing, niche marketing, micro-targeting, and one-to-one marketing, right? I'm going to sit down with you. Let's customize your product all the way. Let's develop it exactly how you like it. Targeting global markets, sell the same product across the entire world, the United States and the rest of the world as well. Tailor their offerings to some extent to meet the needs of different buyers around the world, right? So maybe I tailor it a little bit, but not so much. Or acquire foreign companies or companies with large market shares. More key takeaways. Be sure to read them. I guarantee you, when you're taking your quiz, you say, oh, I remember that from the key takeaway. A market worth targeting has the following characteristics. So it's sizable, it's growing, it's not already swamped by competition, it's accessible, and you have the resources to compete in it, right? So I want you to read that, look at the key takeaways, but know that there are certain characteristics when targeting a market. Learning objectives. Explain why positioning is an important element when it comes to targeting consumers. Describe how a product can be positioned and mapped. And explain what repositioning is designed to do, right? You want to reposition, right? We're in one position and you know the position's not working out that great. Let's reposition what we're doing. Hyundai, for instance. I had a Hyundai, 1989 Hyundai Sonata, right? And all the Hyundais at that time had electrical problems, so they all broke down, shorted out and everything. And but you saw how strong Hyundai came back. They came back with that guarantee, saying, 10 years, 100,000 miles, something goes wrong, we'll fix it for you, right? So you have to think about, what type of, way people kind of boomerang back and fix things that maybe there were problems at before. Positioning, so how consumers perceive a product relative to the competition. Companies want to have a distinct advantage and offering that stands out from the competition in the minds of consumers, right? So, you know what? I like what you're showing me, but, in the back of my mind, I know that I'm going to stick with these guys because they've done me well all over the years. Perceptual map, a two-dimensional graph that visually shows where your product stands or should stand relative to your competitors. It's based on criteria important to buyers, right? So what might be important to me may not be important to you. What might be important to me is just like, you know what, I just need a car to get me from A to B. What might be important to you is that, I need a car to go to the club and look fancy in. So it just depends on what people are looking for. Perceptual map, once you check that out on your own, classy and distinctive, right? You see up here at the top, you have, BMW, Porsche, right? Mercedes, that's, obviously cars that are classy and distinctive. Conservative, right around this, so you got Chrysler, Buick, and Chevy are right around there. Practical down here you got the Volkswagen, the Dodge, Toyota, Nissan up there, right? So it's it's funny how they place things. Now, not to say that some of these companies don't have higher end cars, because they definitely do. Positioning is a tagline or is a catchphrase designed to sum up the essence of a product, right? What's I forget what Toyota's one was. I love what you do for me. And I don't know if that's still their catchphrase, but love what you do for me, Toyota. And the dude jumps up in there and he kicks his feet up in there, jumps pretty high. But what's your tagline? One team, one vision, something else like that was for HealthNet. So whatever your tagline, your catchphrase is, it starts to talk about the essence of you and your product and your company. Repositioning an effort to move a product to a different place in the minds of customers. So, for instance, Jack in the Box. Somebody got the E. coli poisoning there and died. For those of you who didn't know that or too young to know that. And Jack in the Box, obviously in dire straits. Somebody just died there. I don't want to, buy any food from Jack in the Box because they might die too. But they came back with Big Head Jack, and they made it edgy and everything, and people start to love Jack in the Box all over again. And just forgot that ever happened. Some more key takeaways. Product faces competition. Producer will need to think about how to, quote unquote, position it in the marketplace relative to competing products. And you're always going to have competition no matter what you do. Even if you get something and you patent it, you'll still have competition coming from you from the right, from the left, from the north, from the south. So read the rest of the key takeaways. They're all great. They help you on the quizzes, help you on the tests. Hopefully you've got the hang of the class now. You're watching the lecture, watching the supplemental videos, taking your quizzes. First test is up and posted now, so you can take that as well. So that's it. That's the end of chapter 5. Might as well go on and click on and open up chapter 6. So for everybody, as always, I want you to have a good day and a great week.